Hey guys, it's Misty with my paper cuts, and today I have a little bit of a chatty video. I was tagged by the beautiful Miss Carrie Martin. What's up, Carrie? To do the 10 'Tis the Season to Get Crafty questions that were started by Alicia over at Wagman 510. And I know she tagged me for the other one, I just never got around to it, so I thought for sure I would do this one. And just so you guys have something to look at, and you're not just staring at a blank table, I thought I would go through my card stash for what's left over for my Christmas cards from the last couple of years. I need to go through them anyway to see what I need to make, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first question is, what colors are you using to decorate for the holiday season? And normally I do all red and white. However, this year I am actually going back to traditional. I've decided I'm just really into the vintage type style, and so I'm gonna go back to doing a traditional type lineup. The reds and the greens and all the traditional colors. I need to buy a new tree this year, so I think I'm actually gonna buy one with the multicolor lights even. So the next question here is, what drink makes you feel like it's the holidays? And I have to say, eggnog. I love eggnog. There is a particular one that comes out that is from Southern Comfort that is the vanilla spice. And every year, as soon as that comes out, I buy 3 or 4 containers of it. I love it. And sometimes I'll booze it up and sometimes I won't. It's just really delicious. So, so eggnog. The next question is, what is your favorite holiday craft and why? Honestly, my favorite thing to make is an altered item or banners. I love to make banners. I like I like to see them hanging on my coworkers' cubicles when I worked in an office. I also love to see them hanging on fireplaces. But I really like to make banners. I think that's probably pretty obvious on my channel already. And anything altered. I like altering boxes or wooden shapes or those types of things. So the next question is number 4, favorite holiday memory. So I think I would have to say for a favorite holiday memory, it would be any Christmas once I had kids. I had my first child at 19, and there was just something about having children at Christmas that just makes the holidays so different. You see it completely different through the eyes of a child. And so, the things that you get to do when you have small children around is different than when it's, just adults. But we also have a tradition in my family of on Christmas Eve, we always get pizza, and it has to be from Pizza Hut. Don't ask me why. I think that's just what we always did. And we always watched Raiders of the Lost Ark. That was just a tradition that I think my mom started when we were young, whenever Raiders came out. And that is something that we still do every year. Kind of got to order the pizza early now, though, because they do close early, which is great for the employees. I do know that Alicia mentioned in her video, Wagman 510, she mentioned that she remembers making popcorn in a pot with oil. I have to say, that's the only way I make popcorn even now. I don't like microwave popcorn, and I really don't like air pop popcorn. I like it traditional with oil in the pot and just a little bit of salt and no butter even. So that kind of cracked me up when she was saying, oh, nobody probably remembers that. And that's the only way I do it. I make it every week. The next question is, what one holiday craft would you love to receive? I have to say, I would love tags. One year, I don't know if anybody remembers this, but back in the day, Tim Holtz used to do a series every year, his 12 tags of Christmas. And I would go out and buy all of the supplies, and I would recreate those tags. You learn a lot of techniques and a different way to look at different supplies. And so I would make those tags, and I started tying them to a garland, a pine garland. And I have a pine garland with all these tags on it, and I would just love to have that in everyone's different styles. I think that would be really fun. This card's a shaker. The next question, number 6. What's the one craft supply you'd love to receive? You guys, I'm so loaded down with supplies. I really don't need a thing. But I think the one thing that I'm always using, and I pick up no matter what, is trim or ribbon. You know, especially, you know, just unique ones. Or seam binding. I love seam binding. I go through it like crazy. Number 7. What's the one treat you eat only during the holidays? Well, every year, it's actually a treat that I make, and I usually only eat one piece of it. I make almond roca every year. I've gotten some joke proposals from my almond roca, but I make that every year along with some other treats. My daughter would say Oreo truffles, which I think everybody has really started making. But the almond roca is definitely just a Christmas time thing. Sometimes I'll make it on Valentine's Day, but other times of the year I don't really make it. It's a lot of work. So, number 8. What smells like the holidays to you? Okay, so one thing that always triggers me is the second that the cinnamon pine cones come into the stores and you walk through the front door and you get that big old whiff of cinnamon. That always triggers, okay, it's Christmas time. But honestly, I love pine as well. I know Alicia said she's allergic, but I do love the smell of pine. I do get a pine candle every year. And probably the other thing, oh, I didn't show the inside of that. That one was blank. The other thing for me is nutmeg. I love pumpkin pie and everything, and to me the holidays starts after Halloween. As soon as it's time for Thanksgiving, that's the start of the season. And nutmeg, just, you know, sprinkled on some whipped cream, just makes me immediately think holidays. So that is probably the smells. And then, oh, the next question is so hard. What's your favorite holiday paper pad? Well, that's like asking me to pick a favorite child. I have a lot of holiday paper pads. I have some very, very old ones along with the new ones from Michael's. So I think I'll just, to make it a safe answer here, I think I'll just go with anything vintage. I love vintage. I love anything I can ink and distress and, you know, get messy with, and I just love that style. So anything with a vintage feel to it. This is one of my favorite cards. So let me see what the next question. Oh, and the last question here is, what is the one craft you make every year? Well, every year I do make new banners, but obviously, as I'm showing you here, it is Christmas cards. I do load up on Christmas cards for my coworkers. I do special order ones sometimes, but usually I just do like this, and I make a whole variety of cards, and then I just let them pick and choose. I take the boxes into work and let them go through them. And oh, this one I'll have to take out. Hope you guys don't mind the crinkle here. This is a waterfall card. Oh, it's stuck. This happens when they get stored all year. So there's that card. I'll just set that one to the side. I do make a lot of Christmas cards. I make cards all year round. This is only a small part of the collection of my card stash. I probably have somewhere between 400 and 500 cards made at any given time. It is something I started making out of necessity to use up my scraps from making mini albums, which is another holiday craft I like to make. I do like to make Christmas themed albums for everyone's photos and give them as gifts, or even just a family themed album. I just feel like that is a nice thing to give at the holidays or any time of year, really. I even do birthday theme albums. So and so then the last thing I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to tag anyone that I would want to answer these questions. And you know, my little channel here doesn't have a whole lot of viewership yet, but I'm hoping to get there soon. So what I would like to do is I would like to tag anyone who watches this video who hasn't already been tagged by someone else, who would like to answer these questions and be part of the group that's doing this. So that is all my cards. And I just don't want anybody to feel like they're being left out. And I would love to hear everyone's answers. So thanks for spending a few minutes with me and wanting to know a little bit about me for the season. And everybody have a great day. Thanks. Bye-bye.